Welcome back, everybody. Pat, what's going on, bud?
Hey, Ben. What's happening?
No, not much, buddy. It's I didn't want to be political.
Yeah, you're going to get political, though.
I didn't want to be. Like, I was hoping this Olympics would kick off and it would just be about sport. And
Bro, have you watched the Olympics lately?
Yeah.
Well, by lately, I mean every 4 years.
yeah,
Well, I guess every 2 because winter, but
I mean, you're right. With all the
it hasn't
I'm
been
gonna kneel,
like
I'm gonna take a knee, and the
Yeah.
flag BS, and
Well,
but I was hoping
But that part really hasn't hit, though.
there was a little bit of that 4 years ago
Well, 4 years ago was
during the peak of it.
COVID. Tokyo was removed. It was moved to
So
2001.
It was right
or
after George
2021.
Floyd that I'm talking about. Whatever was right after.
So, wasn't that 20?
George Floyd was 20. So it was 22?
21?
Was it 21?
21. So, yeah, because 2020 Olympics was postponed
Postponed.
to 21.
That's when it was. It was 21.
I don't remember any of that part there.
I do. I remember there being a bunch of controversies with U.S. athletes and just a bunch of bullshit. But, it's their right. They get to speak their mind. But I was hoping this time around it would be, I don't know, because a lot of that's gone away, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen as much of it. It hasn't been as prevalent. And I was hoping that, hey, we just have a clean Olympic Games and only worry about Chinese athletes being doped up and super strong.
You're silly.
Yeah, it was really silly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 All right, so I guess we can start there with the Chinese athletes.
Yeah. Well, should we start? Where do you want to start? Do you want to start Chinese athletes, opening ceremony? How do you want to do about this? Because
Well, I think maybe we start with the opening ceremonies.
yeah.
Because I think the other thing's going to lead into other areas, and
Yeah.
that will be the longer discussion.
Yeah, the opening ceremonies pissed me off.
So did you watch it?
Yes.
I know you've seen the part.
I watched probably about, I don't know, 10 minutes worth of it.
Okay. So no.
Though the 10 minutes.
It's like 4 hours.
Yeah, the 10 minutes that killed me. It ruined anything else that I would have watched. Usually I would watch the whole torch ceremony, but when you have a torch that was being carried in by somebody who's just so obviously, it's just
Well, I mean,
virtue
yeah.
signaling and all
Yeah.
the fucking bullshit that we have to deal with.
Mhm. But then do you know about the controversy of the South Korean team?
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw
that's-
how that was.
They announced them as North Korea,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah. France is doing well.
yeah, France is taking a hit right now.
They're doing very well. Yeah.
So it started with, well, I guess it started with the Last Supper thing, right?
So, I mean, yeah, that to me, that.
I mean, it didn't. Did you see the menage a trois scene?
Yes.
Okay, so there was that. Like, the whole opening ceremonies was,
Disgusting?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was not great.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get your. I guess I don't even get what the fuck you're doing. I don't. I mean, this is a competition that's about a bunch of athletes worldwide that have spent their entire lives trying to get to this point. It's supposed to be about the fucking athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be about your agenda.
Right. So, opening ceremonies traditionally talks about
Culture.
culture, but it talks about the formation of the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the disciplines and all that. Like, there's like 5 things.
The original 5 events, yeah.
And it's supposed to be like the history of all that, and also like the history of the host nation, right? So it's kind of tied in. So that's where I think France is kind of getting it out. Like, they're obviously not. Their feet are being held to the fire pretty good right now, but that's kind of where they were at, right? Like, I mean, when you hire somebody that's set on doing that, they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Can you not hear me very well?
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
I mean, I don't buy that bullshit. I mean, that's a bunch of excuses from France and from the Olympic Committee. Everything gets passed through. They rehearse it. They've seen rehearsals for it. I mean, nothing. This isn't just like it's a surprise. It's been approved. It's written. Television crews have to come in and see it. You stage for it. You know what it is. You see costumes. You see all. I don't believe that bullshit for a second. It's just an excuse by France because that's what France is. It's a giant fucking excuse.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, like, that's what they tie their culture to at this point, right? Like, so, like, that's what they're saying.
Sure.
But 100%
Sure.
everyone knew what was coming,
Sure.
but
So
that's what they're saying.
I mean, so France is saying they're tying their culture to the trans movement, and they're becoming
that they're
more-
basically that they're accepting,
Oh.
right? And they want
Oh.
the world to be accepting.
Yeah, that's a really good idea by depicting the Last Supper being the most inclusive group of people on the planet, supposedly.
Mhm.
And hey, you know, while you're at it, let's put a kid up on stage because that's one of the things we're really pushing for is a kid right up there at the Last Supper
Mhm.
with a bunch of drag queens, right? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, why not? That's really accepting of what exactly, France? What are you trying to, like, you had one fucking job to do, France. Like, all you had to do was get a guy with a torch or a gal with a torch from fucking the last event to this event and light a fucking massive torch. That's it. Your opening ceremony done, whatever. No, you have some dude dressed up in all blue, painted like a fucking Smurf, doing fucking weird shit all over the place. This is what you're going to be known for from now on for the Olympics is like this opening ceremony.
Yeah, and they claim that that's the Greek god.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
Dionysus?
I've seen exactly
How do you
what
say it? Do you know how to say it?
I don't know how to say it. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
That part, sure. The other part, nope. There's
Well-
no chance that wasn't the Last Supper.
Well,
And there's pictures. I've got the pictures of all three of the paintings that they say it's based off of, or
Right.
the one that they say it's based off of,
right.
and then the Last Supper, and then the picture of
Correct.
what actually happened. And there's no chance it was based off of
What they're trying to
what
say.
they're trying to say.
But they're
Which,
covering down.
in
right?
their original statement, though, they didn't cover down.
No, they didn't.
They basically admitted it and said, "That's what we're aiming for."
Right.
And mission accomplished.
Well, exactly, and that's what this is, right? This is activism, and you can see some of the people who were some of the drag queens that took part in it that are doubling down right now on social media, saying, "Well, yeah, we're not going away. We're loud and proud, and this is about us being accepted." The Olympics was never about you being accepted. You need to shut the fuck up. The Olympics was always about people who have trained their whole fucking life to represent their country at the world's most elite version of a gaming event to see where we all stack up and just to spread cheer through freaking sport. This has nothing to do with you wanting to slap on some makeup, tuck your dick between your legs, and go run around with fucking as a drag queen. I don't give a fuck if that's what you like to do. I don't care. But when you turn an event to you instead of this is how fucking ridiculous and how selfish people are in this world at this point. To hijack an event like the Olympics, it's not about the athletes now. It's being talked about. It has nothing to do with. Almost every story you see now is not like, oh, this person coming out and with a great medal run. It's all about, oh, did you see the freaking opening ceremony? 1/3 of the planet you've pretty much alienated by doing what you did. You're the
Yeah.
most inclusive and accepting group. No, what you wanted to do was throw your sexuality out there and shame anyone who was a Christian or anybody believing in Christ. The Last Supper, you mimic the Last fucking Supper. That's what you do. You sick, disgusting fuck. That's what you do. All right, yeah, Roger, I got that. Yep, that's I mean, France, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Anybody in the Olympic Committee, you ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself to let that be what you were gonna say. Oh yeah, I mean they're backtracking now. Do you see they're pulling down everything that they had online? All the videos, they're trying to trademark the videos so nobody can use it.
Nobody
if they
can
do.
use them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're full
It's too
cover
late
up.
for that.
It's too late. You fucked up. Like, own it. Yep, we fucked up. We should have not had this. We did not mean to isolate or, go after Christianity in that regard. But hey, you know what? That's what they did. That's
That's what they did.
fucking
And
awesome.
I can't remember who said it, but somebody said, oh, maybe it was Elon. Oh, I don't think so. I think he just said that Catholicism was toothless, or Christianity was toothless.
Yeah, if this was Islam, there'd be heads in the street.
yeah, that somebody
There'd-
said, I wonder why you didn't do this with the scene in the Quran.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know, you can't do it with any other religion because somebody'd show up.
Mhm.
Christianity is a bunch of pacifists. They are accepting and they're forgiving,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So this is the only religion you could have done it to. Please, by all means, in the next Olympics, for these, I want this same group out there, and I want them to go after Islam.
We have the next Olympics, so let's not do that.
It's next winter, next.
We have
We have next Summer
the
Olympics.
next Summer Olympics in L.A. of all places.
we have it both.
We have
Great.
Well, we have. It'd be 6 years later, I think, that we have Salt Lake. Wasn't that 32?
Well, if that takes place, we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I was seriously, the last podcast we did, I was like, hey, man, I am just really looking forward to not covering political shit.
Mhm.
We can talk about some of the events that we're going to see, which are going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even make it past the opening fucking ceremony.
Yeah. Just wait for closing ceremonies.
I bet you they're rewriting those so fast right now. They're like, we can't do this. We can't.
Closing ceremonies are more about passing it on to the next group. So it'll be like the L.A. people.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
So I wonder if they'll have a homeless encampment at the stage.
There's shit all over the place.
Shit everywhere.
A map that they're
Yeah.
dodging shit as they are walking through.
Yeah. Poop map.
I don't know. I mean, you just 1/3 of the planet you offended. That's a smart. That's a great business model.
One and for France of all places, right? Like
Mhm.
the daughter of Christianity or
Right.
Catholicism.
Right.
They were considered the daughter of the church forever, with all the cathedrals and. There was one really cool moment at opening ceremonies where the bells rang at Notre Dame for the first time since the fire.
Yep.
That was supposed to be done before the Olympics, or they were hoping to. It was a stretch goal for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be finished in December.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's that based on what had happened there. That's pretty impressive by itself.
Yep.
But that was a really cool moment when the bells tolled. The whatever was going by.
Mm-hmm. Torch.
I don't know if it was the torch or if it was Teams. I don't remember. It wasn't the Teams. It was something else. It must have been the torch.
I was the carrying of the torch, but I
Yeah.
might be wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's too bad because it could have been really good. It was a cool setting, and had they not done all that stuff, even the Marie Antoinette, the headless, like, what are you doing? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, let them eat cake, right? Marie Antoinette, of all
Yeah.
people.
Of all people.
You're the French government, of all people, who just robbed.
Yeah, I mean,
robbed
the scandal.
robbed their own people of their candidate
Their
by
votes.
stealing votes from somebody else. Or I guess stealing's not the right word.
That's not the right word. They didn't steal any votes. What they did was the two parties, if you're not
They
aware,
merged.
the Progressive Party and the Middle Left Party, which is actually like Super Progressive Party. Essentially, after the UN or not UN EU vote, where the Conservative Party in France took all of the or the EU seats
Yep.
for France, they
Right.
won all of them. Macron then called a snap election. And in order to not have that happen again, the two parties essentially
Merged.
colluded against the Conservative Party,
Marine
and
Le
over
Pen.
200 candidates dropped out
Mhm.
between the two parties. So there was only the one party vote.
Yep.
They essentially merged into one party so that the Conservatives would not win.
Right.
However, that means no one has the majority that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a majority. The progressives, I believe, are the majority, but there was something about it, and I didn't look enough into it, but it wasn't enough. So
Well-
everything's gonna stall.
For you to bring up Marie Antoinette after you just robbed your people of that vote.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Wow.
But to be fair,
Bold move.
that guy didn't know that before. Like this has been planned for a long time,
Right.
and then they just did this in the last couple months.
Right. Bold move. That
last month I think, right?
even still, I mean, it goes back to the whole. It had to cross somebody's desk, and you can bet. At some point, people in the government are being advised of what's taking place, and they're going to know.
Well,
100%.
Of course, because that's how it works, right?
So I mean,
like the
even-
USOC is a government group
Mhm.
that they pick the site of whatever their site's going to be for the bid for the next Olympics.
Right.
So all these states or whoever wants to hold the Olympics will put together a bid to the USOC.
Mhm.
They'll pick the one that they want to go with and present that as the US's bid.
Right.
So it's a government agency for sure. It's the same thing in France.
Mm-hmm. And
And-
there's no way that this didn't cross people's desks that
Correct.
they had to sign off on.
Correct.
It did. And they're just still like, oh, let's throw this out there. This is our history. We're doing this to our people again. Let them eat cake, but we're
Yeah.
in a different fashion. But hey, you know what? Let's put this out there for everybody to see.
Yeah,
oh, and on
it's-
top of that, let's put some blue tranny out there to fucking dance around. We'll call him a god. And then, hey, you know what? Let's mimic the Last Supper.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's
So that was the start.
vile and disgusting. Yeah, that was the start.
But before that,
Yeah, go back even before this. The Chinese, man.
well, okay, we can do the Chinese. The Chinese had, man, I forget. I wish I had the articles. I forgot them.
You can just say a pile.
They had like dozens of swimmers test positive in the last Olympic Games,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them took gold. They tested positive before, and the Chinese anti-doping agency, which is very credible, said that it was
It's like the
contamination.
Iranian nuclear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It was contamination because they all lived in like one house, and
yeah. So one
was
dude
in the kitchen.
One
What-
dude was popping pills and putting it in everybody's
what
fucking
happened? It was
smoothies.
like some heart medication, if I remember correctly.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what happened was I think one of like the non-athletes, was crushing up his pills and snorting them because that's how you do it, and then. And then
Yeah,
that dust then contaminated the food for one
Well,
day,
somebody,
and so they all
somebody
tested
sneezed
positive.
and
Yeah.
it got over the food.
Hey man, that happens.
And all of a sudden, all the swimmers that were there.
Yeah. So it was incidental contamination,
Yes,
and it was good.
according to
There-
China.
But there was no investigation at all
None.
by the World Anti-Doping League or
Mhm.
committee, whatever it's called, agency. And so the U.S. protested it, right? Like they're like,
Well, we lost
but it
medals.
came out. Yeah. So one of the groups, one of the relays, won a medal. I believe it was a relay.
Mhm.
There was at least one. Yeah, it was a relay team because there was a gold medal at stake that China won and the U.S. was second. And it came out when I first saw the story. It came out that when it leaked, that everyone had assumed that meant the U.S. was going to get the gold medal, like
Yep.
they were going to disqualify them and give the U.S. gold medal, and that is not at all what happened. They doubled down hard. They were like, nope, we trust the Chinese anti-doping. There's no better agency out there right now. I don't know what they said. That's all. I'm just making it up. But they basically said, no, we agree with their findings, and we're not. This is over. This is closed.
There is no more reputable source than
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Chinese
for sure.
on this topic.
Yeah.
Russia told them exactly how it happened to them, and
Hmm.
they went from there.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I believe those were in Seoul. Or was that Tokyo? Probably it's Tokyo.
I don't remember
That
where
was
it was,
Tokyo,
but
I think.
I mean, Russia had well, not the same, but a similar thing where they got caught doping. I mean,
Well, so Russia's was different because the Secret Service was involved. Hey, man, listen, if you're running the Russian anti-doping league and the Secret Service comes in and says this is what you're doing, that's what you're doing. Like, let's be honest here.
yeah.
So the Russia was banned, but that's not why they're not in this Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
They're not in this Olympics because of the Ukraine war.
Right.
They got blackballed.
Mhm.
Apparently, you can't invade a country and be invited to the Olympics. However, the athletes can participate if they denounce the war, which not many. It's not really a great move.
That's not a
In
real good
Russia?
survival
Yeah,
plan.
Yeah. So
You can denounce the war in Russia and try to get to the Olympics.
Mhm.
It's the trying to get home.
I don't think they actually said denounce. I think they said as long as you're not like actively supporting it. because they knew
Oh,
no
yeah.
one was going to denounce it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
right.
oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
My family's all dead now, thanks.
right. Yeah, that's not going to go well.
Yeah, so they can participate as not under the Russian flag, but as like ROK, like Russian Olympic competitors or something.
Yeah, Russian Olympic competitors or
Uh,
athletes.
something like that. But
Yeah.
before, so then like with the Sochi, when they were cheating in Sochi, and they got banned, the first year I don't think anyone could participate for the first games, and then the second games, they could participate under the Olympic flag as Olympic athletes from Russia.
Right.
But
Yeah. It's amazing. If you're China, you've bought a lot. You have bought your way into a lot of things. There's no other explanation for why the Olympic Committee would be throwing out there, no, we're not going to investigate. We're taking them at their word.
well,
It's either money or it's you don't want this. You just want the stain to go away.
I think it's both. I honestly, when it came out, probably Russia or China was going to host the next Winter Games. So like when that came out,
Of
like
course.
now what are you going to do?
You're already locked.
Right?
You're
Because
already locked
it
in.
was Tokyo that it happened in.
Right.
The next Olympic Games was the Winter Games in Beijing, I think.
Yeah, you're already locked in.
yeah.
you're-
So what are
you're-
you going to do?
you
Like,
can't
how do you
really-
ban them?
You can't really piss them
You
off.
can't do anything. So
Uh,
they tried to bury it. Then some U.S. Swim, like I saw it on some like U.S.
Yep.
Swim like
blog.
website,
Yeah.
and they were
Not
absolutely
happy.
torching it. Well, then we get to the Salt Lake has been awarded the Winter Olympics in 32,
Was it 32 or was it 12?
34,
Yeah.
32 would be summer.
Yep.
So, the U.S. Olympic Committee for the Salt Lake representatives for the Salt Lake Games had to sign some like pledge that they would like discourage the FBI from it because the FBI opened an investigation into the Chinese
there's,
thing.
There's congressmen digging in this thing.
hmm And so they had to sign some things. Basically the IOC threatened the Salt Lake Games that they would not get the
They'd
games
pull
if they didn't pledge to pressure the FBI to stop investigating.
Right.
I mean, nothing screams like we're above board than pressuring somebody
Yeah.
to do something or you're going to take
Very
something away.
reputable. The Olympics is very reputable.
Man, it's been that way for a long time. Look at the first Salt Lake Games.
Yeah.
They literally brought Mitt Romney in to run it because everybody in before that was charged in some bribery scheme. They paid the Olympic Committee to
Yeah.
host the games, and that came out, and they brought Mitt Romney in to like save the games.
And that fixes things. He's a real reputable guy himself.
Well, I think it did.
It allowed it to take place, but it was just another smoke and mirror tactic, right? I mean, that's what we're starting
Well,
to
it
see
was
with all this
who
crap.
they could get from Utah to do it that would add some credibility to it.
Right.
I think, and I don't think it mattered who you got at that point. That the damage was done so badly that like it changed all sorts of stuff from then on in the bidding process.
Yeah.
Like this, I believe. Well, I sent you the article. Did you read it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it just bags of cash just showed up at people's houses, or what?
I don't remember that.
It didn't
part.
have that part. I'm pretty sure it was a substantial amount of cash that ended up in the hands of the people that were deciding.
Oh yeah, yeah. They paid him off.
Mhm.
100%. They paid him off, and it's funny because we tend to have this like glorious look at us, like we're not the corrupt ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is it's garbage. I mean,
Yeah, dude, we gave them so much money they couldn't hide it.
right.
Right? No, we didn't care.
No, we didn't care.
Like
We're the U.S.
No,
We
this
don't
is
ever
how it
care.
works. Same thing happened with FIFA,
Mm-hmm.
right? At the World Cup, they were bribed, but
Yep.
that was with Qatar, I believe.
Yep. But here's the deal, and I'm gonna say it. There's a difference between bribing somebody to get the location and doping your athletes so they can beat up on everybody else in a fair competition.
Correct.
Every politician in every country on the planet is fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
We've come to realize that now.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few that are genuine good people trying to do good for their country, and usually the ones that are end up in a box, right? Or in jail at some point, ousted.
Sorry.
It's all right, but the athletes themselves, you can't have doping scandals. You can't be Russians going out there like Ivan Drago from Rocky, like injecting shit into your body so that you're 10 times stronger than your next competitor. You can't do that. That's not. This whole thing is about fairness, right? It's sport.
It's about natural ability.
It's natural ability. Now, I would love to see that. I am all
I know,
for.
we did talk about this originally, and you're
yeah.
like, I want them all to dope. And
I
I'm
do.
like,
I
not the
want-
Olympics.
I-
That's what pro sports are for. Let
Right.
them dope. Who cares?
That's fine. I mean, I want the NFL to be. I want heads being ripped off when
yeah,
I'm
but
watching
that's what's
games.
going to happen is someone's going to die on the field.
Yeah, they get paid a lot of money to take that chance. I got paid very little to take a chance of dying in some foreign shithole. So I have, I don't care.
It's fair.
I don't care.
It's fair.
But yes, I want to see Barry Bonds hit a ball 510 feet. I want to see people. I want to see. Yeah, yes, I want to see like the best a man can do it, and if that means he's got to, take testosterone straight from a fucking bull, I don't give two shits. I just want to see a football thrown over the mountain.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want. Yeah, I get it. The Olympics is supposed to be fair, but it has to be fair for everybody. It can't be just, the Chinese doping. And in the Chinese defense, they're like my height, so it probably only helped a
Not
little
all
bit.
of them anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably only helped a little bit, because I can remember watching them walk in opening ceremonies in the past, and you see them, and you're just like, oh, yeah, you have no chance at this high jump. Yeah, you even have a high jump.
Look at Yao Ming. It's like 7 something.
Yeah, but he's the exception, not the rule.
Well, there's more of them now.
Well, then the doping is caught on.
I don't think it's doping.
Everybody's-
Maybe genetic modification.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Everybody's
that's
getting
different.
growth hormones.
That's different.
Yeah.
When you do it at birth, or at conception, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember as a kid, we had, I played hockey as a kid, and we had some teams that were pretty good that we would be put on at times. And they always put on a hockey tournament in Bloomington where people from all over, you had like Swedish kids come, you had Russian kids come, and you'd host family the event. And then we would talk to these kids and, learn a little bit about Russia or learn a little bit about Denmark, Sweden, Finland, whatever. And back in the Soviet Union, they were basically, kids are being born and you're an athlete, you're this, you're a basketball player, you're a wrestler, you're this. And that's how they were deciding. So some of the kids that were born a few years ahead of us, we were a host family, and I was a peewee at the time, and we host family Bantams, and one of the kids in the Bantam team was like the very end of that. You were going to be a hockey player, even though he was a better basketball player. And his dad was the coach of the Olympic team for basketball for Russia. But that's fucked up, and it makes you wonder: is that what's going on now with China? I mean, like you said, genetic modification. They're just selecting their athletes, and you're a swimmer. That's what you're going to do. You're a
Yeah, man. Like I'm pretty sure that's what they do. Like China, Russia.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely crazy. I mean, here we at least have crazy parents that do that to their own kids.
Yeah, but a lot of times those
It's not
kids
the
are
government.
like they never work out.
Yeah, I know.
I shouldn't say never, but very rarely does that pan out.
No, but I mean, it's the parents doing it to their kids here. It's not the government being like, you will be this. Usually it's mom or dad that's like, you're going to be a dancer. You're going to do this. I know you hate this and you hate me for making you do this, but you're going to be a football player. But yeah.
All right. I want to go back to the opening ceremony.
Oh my God. Okay.
Just because I think it's important to go back to our point on politicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a user on X from France that she posted, as a French woman, I am deeply embarrassed by this opening ceremonies and would like to apologize to the entire world for subjecting you to all of this sick farce. Don't hate us. It isn't us. It's a woke metropolitan elite. They ruined fucking everything.
She's right.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I don't
again,
think-
this is the group that had just rigged the election
Mm-hmm.
by by having their candidates drop out so that the one group wouldn't win.
I don't think anybody who is looking at the Olympic Games is blaming France or the French people for what's happening.
No, I agree, but I think it's important to note that
Yep.
like
They see it too. Well, at least a
Mhm.
portion of France sees it too.
Mhm.
There's a portion certainly who are happy about this. You know what I mean? But there's
For sure.
a portion that see it and they're blowing up, over it too. The blame for me lies with the Olympic Committee.
Yep.
They knew it was going to take place. They
Mhm.
knew. They saw the costumes. They saw the sets. They had to act.
Mhm.
They had to build the sets. Right?
Well, they built like a lot of the costumes were custom made for it. So
Yeah.
like
They knew.
that got paid for.
That they knew. I mean, they
Mhm.
knew. They saw it in advance. They saw the rehearsals. They saw all of it. I mean, it's not like these things just. It's one and done. There's numerous rehearsals. They have to approve the hiring of everybody that goes into it. So I mean, they knew it was coming. So the Olympic Committee, you're primarily to blame, and then the French government, they signed off on it too.
Mhm.
They had to, all in the hopes of being inclusive. Well, that's great. You're inclusive, but then you just mocked, the the one man, the one person throughout history that has reached more than just about anyone else, right? I mean, I don't know.
Mhm.
The only living king we've had on the planet. And you mock him openly and think that that's your best play, that's your best bet. I don't know.
So there's I'm trying to find this reel from Nick. Is it Nick Freitas? No, my phone's going to take forever to load. We'll go on. There's other issues with the Olympics, though. One of them, did you see the food issues that are plaguing the athletes at
And
the
people
Paris?
are getting sick.
So, this was before the opening ceremonies, before the games have officially started, but the team events typically kick off before because there's so many games that have to be played.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Times of London, food at the Olympic Village has not lived up to the standards befitting international champions, let alone anyone. British Olympic Association chef, executive Andy Anson, told the LA there has been insufficient quantities of chicken, eggs, and some carbohydrates, while some meat has been served raw.
Yeah, I've heard of the athletes, a couple athletes getting
Mhm.
sick from undercooked food.
So Britain ended up sending another chef because all the athletes are choosing to eat at like their house
Mhm.
rather than at the Olympic Village where the food is supposed to be at.
Yeah, so I can remember a little insight, kind of small scale, how shit like this works. I can remember when they did the RNC in St. Paul at the River Center.
Mm-hmm.
The River Center had its own like catering group, right?
Mhm.
They do their own food. They have all that kind of stuff. They have that. I can't remember what the club level is or whatever it is up there where they have the restaurant up there, but they have their own kitchen and everything else. But the RNC was going to be way more in depth with way more people. It wasn't just like sitting room; it was going to be standing room. So they needed more people. So they were bringing in more caterers to help, right? To help with different food options and different meals and things like that. And it was a fucking disaster. It was the same kind of thing, and that's small scale. Can you imagine? I mean, the footprint of wherever this goes. I mean, the footprint has to be astronomical. So, yeah, I can't even imagine how hard. I mean, I got to deal with some of that just on the outside, just asking questions of people and asking what's going on and seeing some of that at the RNC, right?
Yep.
I can't even imagine the footprint of what it takes.
So this is going exactly where you thought it would.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think the biggest problem with the food has been? Why do you think they're having issues with the food? Like being out of chicken and stuff like that.
I would imagine because they can't pay for it. I don't know. What is it?
Environmentally conscious.
Of course it is.
So they're saying that. So one British athlete who wanted to remain anonymous, they said they are saying the games are more sustainable and there is way more plant-based food. But sometimes you go at peak times and it's challenging to even get a piece of chicken. You're serving athletes. Where is the protein?
Right.
What are you doing?
Well, it's just more of the same woke bullshit, right?
Mhm.
Meanwhile, all the French athletes are eating steaks and
I don't think so.
prime rib.
That's probably why they're doing terrible.
Well, there's I don't know. I saw today the U.S. has 24 medals.
I haven't seen that.
It's 24 medals. I didn't see the gold, silver, bronze breakdown, but it looked good. 24 medals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine how hard it would be to plan this. How many different caterers you have to bring in for
That's
like
why
Olympic
it takes like
Village.
8 years. We have 20 medals, according to this.
Let me see. Was that
3 gold, 8 silver, and 9 bronze. But that's why it takes 8 years, right? Like,
Yeah,
or longer. Longer. What is it? It's 20, 24. So 10 years. They basically bid out the games 10 years in advance.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the planning that has to go into it is just unbelievable.
Well, if I remember correctly, Team USA typically sends all their own food, which is why you haven't really heard a lot of, like, I think it was the Beijing Olympics. They sent over like 300 containers of stuff for food for the athletes for the 2 weeks. It was a substantial amount of protein.
That's a Herculean task, man.
Yeah.
To just.
Think about that's just one country.
Yeah. And everybody's got to be able to. They got to be able to sustain it, right? So you have to be able to move it. You have to have like a supply line, somebody that can secure it. That's not something that's easy to do. That's really, really hard to do.
So the issues don't stop there. They also have, and I guess you have not seen this, the Canadian soccer coach was dismissed. Or football coach was dismissed.
You were saving this one for me. Why?
She was flying a drone over another team's practice. And, like, dude, it's huge. Like, the U.S. apparently knew about it. Like, the U.S. coaching staff knew that she does this shit. She was flying a drone over the New Zealand practice. And New Zealand saw it, and so they reported it to authorities. They dismissed her. She got fired, right? She should.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they had banned her. FIFA's banned her for a year. She got fired from the job. The assistant coach got fired, and the analyst got fired. Or, I'm sorry, they did not get fired. They got sent home. I don't know if they got fired or not. I would imagine when the new coach comes in, they're gone. But FIFA also docked them 6 points.
Ooh.
In the group play.
Ouch.
So they have to win every single game to get 3 points and a chance to go on. Like, they get 9 points if they won every game. And so they'll be down 6 to start. So I believe that they're at 0 now. I believe they won 2 games. They beat France and they beat New Zealand.
Nothing
So
like
as long as they beat Colombia, they might go.
Nothing like starting your Olympic event with, thanks, coach.
Yeah, for sure. You're negative 9 points, and the max you can get, or negative 6 points, when the max you can get is 9.
Yeah. Unreal.
But they were also fined a bunch of money, too. I can't remember how much. Let me see. I've got an article here. This one's from SI. Oh, they fined the team 200,000 Swiss francs. Docked 6 points in the group stage competition of the Olympics. Additionally, head coach Bev Priestman, analyst Joseph Lombardi, and assistant coach Jasmine Mander have all been suspended from football-related activities for a full year. But like when they asked the U.S. team, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're aware that she did it, that she does it."
How dumb.
Yeah. Great over New Zealand. Like, come on.
I mean, what is your response there? Like, oh yeah, well, I mean, it's just a drone.
Yeah.
It's out in the public. I can film anybody in the public. What are you going for there?
But they won gold in Tokyo. So like, I don't know.
The Canadians did?
Yeah. They came out on top in Tokyo.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that coming.
Well, you should have, because it happened 3 years ago.
Yeah. American football is not my...
American football is different than football.
Yeah. You haven't seen that commercial yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah. Soccer is not my thing.
Yeah.
There-
So
you'll
other
see
than
a
that,
com-
it's
you'll see
going
a
really
commercial
well
soon.
with the Olympics.
Everything's going real great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is going real great.
The men's gymnastics team took bronze.
Yeah. Yep.
First time since '08 that they medaled.
Women are tonight, right? Simone Biles is
Are they tonight?
I think it's tonight. I think it's happening right now. She's got a
Well,
messed up.
It's not happening now
well,
because it's like
we would be able to watch it in rerun right now. It's on my
so it's already happened.
yeah.
I thought they had today was off. It's tomorrow night.
Are you sure? Because it says right here it's taking place right now.
It is
That's what it says on my phone.
because they're 7 hours behind us or ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like 2 a.m. there.
Yeah, it's on right now. She's playing through a bad ankle,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah. Her qualifying the other day
Yeah,
was ridiculous because she heard it right away.
yeah.
She did a vault, everything. She did everything basically on one foot.
Didn't that happen to another U.S. gymnast who broke her
96.
ankle?
96, she did the last vault with basically a broken ankle
And stuck it.
and stuck it to win the gold.
Yeah, I remember
That was in Atlanta.
Didn't they carry her off? They had to
Mhm.
carry her off?
Yeah, she was like crying. She was in so much pain.
Man. Yeah, I remember that. I remember she wasn't going to do the vault, and then she ended up doing it.
Yeah, and it turns out she didn't have to. The second one.
Yeah.
Like the score was good enough. I believe. Maybe
I don't
that's
remember
wrong.
that part. I just remember she stuck it, and it was
Mm-hmm.
as soon as she could fall down, she fell down and was
Mm-hmm.
in pain. But I remember her coach holding her up,
Mm-hmm.
carrying her off the mat. Yeah, I remember that. So now Simone has the same thing. She's got an ankle injury.
Yeah.
That's not good.
She qualified for like 4 events though, individual, and the all around. Well, the all around was one of them.
If there's anybody who can fight through, some adversity, it's definitely her.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that Suni Lee from here,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't see like she was at Auburn
Mm-hmm.
and she won the all around last time.
Okay.
She took gold when Simone like got that.
Yep.
Can't remember what they called it, but whatever it was that she like couldn't like. She couldn't participate. Like it was something like, man, I'm gonna screw it all up, and I don't want to take anything away from her. But it was something like that gymnasts go through, right? And I can't remember what the hell it was called, but so she backed out, and then Suni Lee ended up winning the all around. But Suni Lee like got she had like 2 like kidney diseases, and she gained like 45 pounds. She couldn't fit in any of her grips. She couldn't do anything. Like there was after the all around or after the individual like qualifying to see what events you qualified for and all that.
Yeah.
They had a story about it. And so that like her second year at Auburn, she was basically on the sidelines, and she quit, and she basically had to retire and come back. She had to like learn everything all over again.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. And like they told her like she came back to Mayo and was working with a couple doctors down there, and they're like, you're never doing gymnastics again. She's like, that was really hard to deal with. And then now she's in
the Olympics.
Yeah, and one of the top 24.
Yeah, that.
But like it was like this kidney disease that caused her to gain weight, and they like for no reason. Like all of a sudden she gained 45 pounds in like 2 weeks.
That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see now. This is what the Olympics is supposed to be about, right? It's these
Mhm.
stories of triumph. It's these stories of working your way back from something or working your way up from something. Like even the Michael Phelps thing. Remember when he was going through all his stuff, and he had more medals than just about anybody, but he came back for one more run to try. I can't remember what it was. He wanted one more gold or whatever it was. I mean, you see it. That's what the Olympics is about. It's a story about the people. It's about the athletes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's never meant to be about your fucking trans community and your woke bullshit that you're trying to pull. I mean, it seems like every Olympics we have stories about the food being shit. It seems failures in this, failures in that, in terms of the organization or whatever else. I mean, I haven't even seen it yet. I know we're going to see that the rooms are bad. We're going to see it.
Okay, so I'm going to touch on that because there was pictures again of like the beds being cardboard. They're not going to buy 2.2 million beds.
Right.
Right? Like that's
They're going
to be
cheapest
pictures of that when it's in LA too.
Right.
Like it's not an actual cardboard box bed. It's a bed that's designed for a situation like this that will last for 2 weeks and not be like completely wasteful. Right? Like it's but there I mean, it's just it is what it is. There's been pictures of that the last 4 Olympics.
4 Olympics.
Like just
but what did they do for athletes before this? You know what I mean? Before these cardboard beds, before it was all about more money.
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe
that's what it is, right? This is a cheaper version of doing this, and it's easier for them. That's why they've done it, right?
More sustainable.
More sustainable. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do before?
Well,
right?
Who knows? You didn't have social media way back when.
Well, all we have to do is ask an athlete from the 80s
you
or
know
the
any?
90s. No, but I'm sure they're out there being interviewed about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Somebody's commented on it, right?
Sure. I haven't seen anything from any other athlete on what they used to do. It's probably just a super shitty bed.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the bed frame is on a.
Yeah, it's not
the bed itself. It's not cardboard. Right. It's the bed frame.
Right. So I didn't even know that was coming out there. I knew it was going to be.
It's going to be.
It's been around forever.
It's the way it is.
What else? There's got to be other things.
I don't know.
There always is. There's always something that they're not happy about.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else. I mean, it's just the conditions of the rooms. People are going to hotels.
Well, I mean,
but you had that problem in Brazil. You had that problem.
It's a logistical issue. There's only so many hotels that are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to create an Olympic village that you can keep athletes in to keep them safe and secure, and keep them, I guess, in an area where you can control it, right? So, I mean, you're going to have these logistical issues no matter what. I mean, you're going to have to figure out a way to have enough room and board for not just athletes, but their coaches, for the entire team, for their training staff, for all these other, individuals that are going to have to be there. And then, I mean, the other alternative is you put them up in hotels all over the place and you don't have an Olympic village, right? And that's taken away. The athletes wouldn't like that either because they like being around each other. They like the experience of seeing all these other athletes that they're up against. So, I don't know. Can they do better? Yeah, sure, you can always do better. Could it be worse? Yeah, it could always be worse too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, outside of building a hotel ahead of time
that's what essentially that's what they used to do, and then it was there was a big push for trying to, because these places would just become ghost towns,
yep.
And nothing, they just fall into disrepair.
Well,
They're never used.
What
again.
country that was almost bankrupted? Was it? There was a country not so long ago that was almost bankrupted by the Olympics.
Probably Brazil. They couldn't finish. It went up right to opening ceremonies that they finished it.
But after everybody left, I think it was. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, it's so the amount of money that you spend on these games. It's just they have to find ways to save money, and that's where it's going to be. It's not going to be 5-star hotels. Honestly, to solve that problem, you do it in 3 places, and you rotate it around. That every 12 years you have the games again. You do one here, we can handle it. You do one in Europe, and you do one in Russia, China. Probably China. Don't give the games to Russia. You can give Winter Olympics to Russia. Do 6 different sites, right? Summer and winter, and just keep rotating them around. And then you've got the hotels, you've got everything. You can have all your U.S. stuff or your regional stuff there to host them. all your qualifiers for the country, the host country that has them, you can have them there. So you can keep using the facility all the time. And then it doesn't go into disrepair. So then the question is, which would you rather have, summer or winter? If they said, hey, U.S., you can host one, which one would you rather have?
Well, I'm a big Winter Olympics guy. Just for the hockey and for the bobsled, the luge, skeleton. I think those are some of the coolest things. The downhill skiing, I think some of that is just insane.
Honestly, though, I don't think, like, I think if you were to do it that way, I agree with you. The Winter Olympics to me is a lot more, like, I like the Summer Olympics. I like the track and field stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That has a lot more of the stuff that, well, I guess not really, but I was going to say it feels like there's more of the events for Summer Olympics are not professional, but that's not really true. It's because most of winter is not professional either.
Well, it's just hockey, right? I mean, they're using...
Hockey's the only one, and basketball's the only one for summer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, volleyball.
I mean...
I guess there's some volleyball stuff.
I guess, I mean, even that's disingenuous or not true, because if you look at the way that a lot of these things work, like the U.S. women's soccer team is, at the time, before there was professional soccer for women to play, it was like the professional...
Yeah.
They still played in the World Cup.
For sure. They have a major... They now have a league.
Right. And now they have their own league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same way for men's soccer before we got professional soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Tennis they have their own professional league. I mean, they have golf. There was all sorts of stuff. I mean, there always is, or there always was, but it was just different leagues, different sporting events.
I guess maybe my thought is like the Summer Olympics to me isn't those games. Like, I don't care about any of those. I want to see the track and field. I want to see swimming. I want to see
diving.
The gymnastics. I want to see like the shooting and the decathlon and all that stuff.
I like watching like the high dive and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
because
synchronized diving is crazy.
It's insane. They hit the water at the same time.
The same splash. It's crazy. The twist.
Yes.
Like the U.S. took silver.
Yeah, think of this though. One diver could be 6'4", and the other one could be like 5'10", and they're still hitting the freaking water at the same time.
I know.
How
is that?
How is that possible?
I don't know.
I love watching that stuff.
Yeah.
And, it just blows my mind that there's somebody who will go up that high on something.
Yeah.
Nah, full send. Fuck it. Let's go.
Fuck it.
I mean, they've trained their whole life for it, obviously, so they're great at it. But it's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like some of the races.
Hurdles.
There's always somebody.
I like the 100, 200, and the 4x1.
Yeah.
Just lightning.
Yep. I like some of the races. The javelin. I love seeing
javelin.
that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of it that just, I don't know. I don't even watch.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it.
I do like the whitewater or the kayaking, they call it, I guess.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's pretty neat.
I know they had skateboarding in this year.
And breakdancing.
Yep, I saw that. And
Thank you, France.
The U.S. took silver and bronze in skateboarding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw that on my phone. Pretty cool, I guess. It's, not anything I'd ever thought would ever be in the Olympics because there's already an X Games. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's probably why it's in, though.
Yeah.
Trying to take it away from the X Games.
Well, I'm sure. Well, and it's a big draw, and it's cool that they can do that. Those guys have unbelievable amounts of skill.
Oh,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
For sure.
Snowboarding went into the Winter Games a while back, and that's super cool to watch.
Snowboarding
the
is
half pipe
sweet.
event, that is freaking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch more events in the Winter Olympics than I do in the Summer Olympics.
I agree.
But I do like seeing like the long jump, the high jump, the pole vault, the diving.
Oh, the pole vault and high jump are sweet.
Yeah, I mean I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around how they can do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's not something I could ever.
Yeah, I don't think I could carry a pole that's big enough to hold me.
Well, the other side of that is I would get up and then get shot backwards.
Yeah,
I would be.
Maybe.
I'd be flat on my back, trying to figure out where I went wrong in life.
Yeah.
On the frickin' track.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing. See, I mean, and that's what the Olympics is about, man. It's supposed to be about these people and their skills. And they are they are the most skilled people on the planet
Yeah, they have.
at their sport, right?
Do they have the shooting in this one too again? Like the trap shooting?
I don't know.
They used to.
I don't know.
I know, like when they bid the games, they talk about what sports they can add and get rid of. So like they got rid of softball again, which sucks,
Yeah.
and baseball. But
It's weird that they could
Which
just
is-
add and subtract
Mhm.
games from the Olympics.
yeah, because softball gets eliminated all the time,
yeah,
and then once like the U.S. gets the games again or Australia,
yeah, it comes back.
There's another good Japan.
Japan.
Yep, that's so it was in the Japan Olympics. It's going to be back for L.A.
Yep.
So like it's just a 80 years off. Like
yeah.
it's weird like that they can keep doing that. Like at some point just add it and keep it there. But they don't like to because there's only really 3 competitive countries for it.
Yeah.
Well, 4, Canada. So it's the Canada, US, Japan, and Australia, and that's going to be your 2 final games, right? So,
That's kind of cool. I mean, that they'll come back. Before all these other games started being added to the Olympics, there was a core group that was already there.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a core that'll never leave, and a core that
Yeah.
that has to be there. But I just don't. I don't like seeing shit get taken off.
Yeah.
I'm all for adding stuff, but
Well, you
again,
can't
if your
keep adding.
country's like they don't play it,
Yeah.
there's no point in you putting it in your game. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is. We could be Olympic athletes.
Why?
Curling.
Yeah. I don't
Did you-
think
did
I
you
have the
see-
ability
No,
to do that
no,
either.
no. Look
I'll
up the
slip on the ice.
Minnesota team.
Oh, I've met a couple of those guys.
They're great,
Yeah.
but they give me hope that guys like us could be
I
Olympic.
I don't know if
athletes.
I've met the new Olympic team, but the one that took did they take gold
I don't remember.
or they medaled? I can't remember what they took.
They medaled because I remember seeing them
Mhm.
on the news.
They're all from Bemidji.
Yeah. And you know
And-
what? Hey,
So I went to school up there.
that is
So,
a blue collar event.
Yeah.
We could be in that.
for sure. for
More
sure.
power to those guys. But I like watching that.
I could maybe be in the sumo wrestling.
Is that a fuck? Is that?
I don't know if that is or not. I just
Have you
was
ever-
going after
hold
a
on a sec.
fat sport.
Hold on a second. Have
Yeah.
you ever watched sumo wrestlers?
Yo, I'm not saying I would be good. I'm just saying I could.
No, not about being good. But have you
Yeah.
ever watched it?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Like what goes into their prep and everything they do. That is actually a
Well,
really
everything
fun-
about it, like the tradition and getting
Yes.
in the ring and
Yes.
everything.
It is a really fun event to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys are fucking rock stars over there.
Yeah. No, I get crushed, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
could. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could look like one.
No, not even close.
No.
Not even close.
All right.
No top knot. I don't know what you look like in a diaper, but it's not going to be pretty. And those guys
Yeah.
could, like,
Are you saying they look pretty in a diaper?
well, prettier than you would look.
Well, that's true.
And they could pretty much throw a Buick over.
That's what I'm saying. I'd still get crushed.
Yeah, it would not be
I
pretty.
just feel like I could look the part for a minute.
I mean, if we dyed your hair jet black and threw a top knot
Well,
on you.
dude, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get you the wig.
Yeah.
Halloween costume for this year?
I think
Come on.
I think I work.
Come on.
I think we work on Halloween.
Oh.
And no, so that's a hard no. I'm not going into work in a sumo outfit.
Well, if we don't work, well,
Bro, if I don't work, I gotta take the girls trick or treating.
yeah, your costume last year was sweet, but I'm just saying, a sumo
What was
wrestler
last
this year, you went as a friggin' furry thing.
No, I did not go as a furry.
You were like some
Was that
kind of
last year?
Yeah, it was last year. I watched you get the costume. It was
Bro, I was a Care Bear, not a furry.
same thing.
No, it's very different.
I don't know.
I was Grumpy Bear.
I didn't know what. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know what you were. I just saw that you were a bear.
Yes, you did, because you just said you saw me ordering it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so don't lie. Don't
ordering
lie
the-
to me.
Hold on, stop.
Yeah.
This is not a lie.
It's
Me
a lie.
watching you over your shoulder order a costume and going, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That's not how that happened at all. I told you when we were sitting in that place. I said, "Hey, look at what I'm going. Look what Brenda wants me to get for Halloween." And you go, "What is that?" I said, "It's Grumpy Bear, a Care Bear outfit."
I don't think that's.
And
how
I
that
said,
went.
"Look at what the." And you said, "Oh, the girls will be cute in that one." They were the orange one. I don't know what the hell it is.
They were
The
cute. in that.
rainbow one.
They were cute. You were cute too, buddy.
Thanks.
In that grumpy bear.
I don't remember what
costume.
Brenda one is.
Uh,
Dude, that thing was so hot.
And it was hot that year too.
Yeah.
It was last year. It was really warm on Halloween.
Yeah, now I got to figure out what I'm doing this year.
It'll probably be cold this year.
Yeah, the first 2 years were great.
Yeah,
Like, because they just went as, like, little animals.
easy.
Yeah. And I didn't have to go as anything.
Yeah, easy.
But now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up being the Beast.
Yes.
Because,
Yes,
Disney.
that makes sense. Yeah.
But the problem
Who's
is
Belle?
they're both going to have to be Belle. Or we could dress them
Oh.
up as, like, dinner plates and have Brenda
Chip.
be Belle.
Brenda be Belle, and then one's Chip and
I don't know.
one should be Lumiere. The fact that I know all these names,
Yeah, well, you have,
I have
daughters.
girls. Yeah, that we
That's
could
not-
talk. We could talk Disney all night long.
Too, we could. We
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, the life of a father of girls. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
it's gross.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, let's recap because I don't know. Huge disservice done
Mhm.
for this Olympics.
Well, not even just a disservice. Well, I guess the disservice to the athletes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not so much that the world is going to stop watching, and I'm sure there's a fair portion that have said, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm not going to watch."
There's a boycott Olympics thing going on right now. I'm just too big of a fan of the sports itself. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it pissed me off, but I'm not. I'm gonna watch.
I'm still watching.
Yeah.
I'm still watching some
Yeah.
events, and I'll catch a lot on recap that I'm going to watch.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Huge disservice to the athletes. You stole what was supposed to be their time
this
about
was their
them.
moment.
This is about them,
Yeah.
and you turned it into about woke frickin' bullshit.
Mhm.
And you can shove your agenda down people's throats only so much before they're sick of it and they're gonna actively fight back against it.
Mhm.
Right. The best thing you can do if you're part of the trans community is just shut the fuck up.
We didn't even get to the Jillian Michaels thing. She had came out and said, she's a lesbian,
Okay.
and she came out and said, sorry, I want to get the quote so I'm accurate. She said, "Dear fellow gays, we demand tolerance and respect, but then we make a mockery of something sacred for over 2 billion Christians. This type of hypocrisy and lack of understanding is a bad look. We get outraged when the extreme right bashes us, but then we do this shit." Says, what kind of reaction do you think they will have towards the LGBTQ plus community after this? This is not how we break down barriers. It's how you build them.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Mhm.
And here's the deal: like, we've talked about it before, where it's a rubber band effect, right? The right is pulling so far to the right, when it lets go, it slams back the other direction, and now you have something like this, right? They're fighting back with the Last Supper. I mean, they're desecrating something that's absolutely sacred,
Mhm.
and not cool, right? I'm not a fan of their bullshit. The best thing you can do right now, the best thing all of us can do right now is just shut the fuck up,
Mhm.
right? If you know somebody who's trans, just shut the fuck up. Let them be who they are.
Mhm.
It's not, who the fuck are you to judge them? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? On the other side, if you're trans and you think that you have to be loud and proud, and just shut the fuck up. Shut up. Be who you are. Do what you're going to do. And the people that are good enough at being good people are going to help you and stand up with you when the time is right to stand up, should you ever need somebody to stand up for you. This whole, like, fight for equal rights, there's not a single right that I have that you don't. And that's where I think we're losing this. The signals are crossed.
Mhm.
And the Olympic Games, that's not the place to do it. It's just not the place to do it. We can have conversations anywhere else. Leave the fucking Olympics alone. And what the fuck is the deal? The continued deal with putting kids
I don't know.
with people that are trans?
I have no idea.
What in the fuck is that? Not okay.
Mhm.
Not okay. It's just not okay. That's not how you wake people up to your cause, is by exposing their kids to you. And when I say exposing their kids to you, that's exactly what you're doing in a lot of these places. These frickin' things that we're seeing take place where there's little kids watching the dancing that's going on. That's like a fucking strip club almost.
Mm-hmm.
And here you have this little kid in the depiction of the Last Supper. That's disgusting. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And ultra-right conservatives, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're not doing any bit of benefit to our cause by, making martyrs of this situation. Just shut the fuck up. I get it. If you don't want to use pronouns, sure, okay, whatever. That's on you. You don't want to be chastised for, free speech. I get it. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, just shut the fuck up and I don't know.
All right, I have that thing from Nick Fritas. I want to play it.
Oh, boy.
I think you'll like it. Oh, man.
I dressed up in... Hey, did you guys see the opening ceremony for the Olympics? Yeah, apparently a bunch of people got dressed up in drag and decided to openly mock the Last Supper. Because, as we all know, Christianity is the only world religion you're allowed to openly mock in the ceremony for a sporting event that's supposed to encourage world peace and unity. But look, hey, as a Christian, I can just tell you right now, this is totally predictable. And by that, I mean it was predicted. It's all right there in the Bible. That's right. The whole world versus Christ thing. Yeah, God already told us about it. Yeah. For those of you taking the world side, though, you really should read ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, and I guess that's where it comes down for a lot of us, that we're just kind of like, hey, I don't want to get, revelations about this, but I mean, it's more and more and more, and this is just, I don't know.
Yeah. At
the end of the day, I'm not going to pass judgment on you, but if Christians are right and you're not, well, have fun bathing in that lake of fire. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, I love that. It's funny. You probably should read ahead, grab that book, and see where
how it plays out.
Yeah, see how that plays out. I mean, it's all been told before, and you're starting to see a lot more persecution of Christians. And I mean, this was just on a world stage. The first time on a world stage we've ever seen it.
Yeah,
you know
I think so. Openly,
right?
And then to double down on it, we're trying to be inclusive and open the conversation, like
inclusively hate all Christians.
Yep.
Yeah, not a good look. And I was always taught it's not mine to judge, right? And in the book of Acts, there's the famous quote that everybody talks about: "Let those without sin cast first stone."
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge anybody for who they are or what they are. You do you. Just stay the fuck out of my lane, and we're good, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, we're not putting on these events and just being over the top and mocking anything they do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's the other way around. And it would never be acceptable if we did that.
Yeah.
We would get shouted down, canceled. We'd be horrific, barbaric people. We'd get every phobe name lobbed at us ever.
Yeah.
But then here they can go out and do whatever they want. And it goes all the way back to you're not marginalized.
Mm-hmm.
Christians have been marginalized since Christ.
Yeah.
You should read that book that guy was talking about. I don't know.
Sorry.
That's all good. I don't know, man. We should probably wrap this up.
We'll wrap this one up.
Yep. The opening ceremony pissed me off.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
So can now all of our followers.
Yeah.
All 32.
Well, I just wanted to talk about medals and events.
Well, when we talked, like, hey, let's do one on the Olympics, and then opening ceremonies happened, and I sent you that video, and you're like, ugh, come on.
I know. I sent you the text.
We thought we were just talking about cheating.
Yeah, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Follow us on our social media pages. Check us out on our website, bluecollartakes.com. Follow us. Spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, everybody hang along, and I don't know where this ride goes. We're gonna bring you with us. So, you got any ideas? Give us some ideas. Give us a couple shout outs, and we'll figure it out, and we'll go from there, and just stories and whatnot that you want
Mhm.
talked about.
Ooh, we're on Apple now.
Oh,
We're on iHeart.
oh boy.
We're on YouTube, which there's no more Google one. We're on Google too, but it's going to get shut down here tomorrow. So
It's
yep.
already, it's
it let me sign up, and then it said we're shutting down. I was like, huh. It's on YouTube now.
okay.
So Google YouTube.
Great
So our podcast is on YouTube. So
for now.
well, yeah, I guess
That'll
maybe
That'll
we'll
get taken away.
I'll probably already have a strike. I should look at the email.
yeah, I'm sure we
Yeah.
do. I don't know. We're just gonna keep doing our thing and
Mhm.
fuck them.
Yep, whatever.
Thanks for hanging along with us, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, thanks.